Are you ready
okay.
for a question?
Yes?
Okay. I have not heard anything on the healthcare reform on what or if any provisions are going to be made for mental health services. Could you expand or tell us something about that?
You know, I would assume we've just gone through a big mental health. We are not at that level of specificity yet. As I said, it's a work in progress. I would assume that we will get full coverage of mental health, since we just went through a huge fight over many years in Washington, D.C. to get to national mental health parity legislation. Oregon has had it for a number of years as a state, and I don't expect we're going to back away from that. We found, despite the fact that for years people said, oh my gosh, if you give mental health benefits, it'll drive the cost of insurance up astronomically. It's actually worked out quite well. Insurance has gone up an increment, generally less than 1%, for the cost of the mental health parity. Employers are very happy with decrease in absenteeism, and individuals are having better lives. So I don't see us backing away from that, but we haven't gotten to that level of specificity yet now. So yes, go ahead.
First of all, I want to say, I hope you stay in office, Peter. I hope you don't go somewhere else. This is going off. I want to speak for immigrants. We need immigrant rights reform. We have hundreds of thousands of people crossing the border because of our failed economic policies, our NAFTA, our free trade policies that are sending subsidized corn down and causing the ending of local farms, small farms all over Mexico, and the villages are being vacated by the strong adults who are able to come here and who come and risk their lives in order to get money to send back. And of course, Mexico is not the only country that is involved. And the businesses here, they can't get visas. Visas go to the people who are professional, who have high technical abilities. They don't go to all these swarms of people who come to do the labor in the slaughterhouses, in the farms, in the big farms here in the United States. And the owners of the slaughterhouses like the fact that there are undocumented people who will not stick up for their rights and cannot unionize. I would like you to speak on this question of immigrant rights reform. Thank you.
Well, first, we have problems on both sides of the border that have caused these problems. I voted against NAFTA. At the time, that was not a popular vote. Predicted many of these problems. In fact, sometimes the political spectrum looks more like a horseshoe or something than it does a line. And Ron Paul and I, if you know Ron Paul, have tried to repeal NAFTA. We didn't get that many votes, but we've tried, and we'll try again, or at least get it renegotiated in a way that makes sense for people on both sides of the border. This has been a tremendous convenience for big agriculture and other corporate interests in the U.S. The Wall Street Journal for years has editorialized for open borders, the idea of bringing in massive influx of labor to try and break the unions here. The slaughterhouses were unionized. Not a great job, but they paid pretty darn good wages. And they were busted by companies busting people up illegally. And now it's a place where people are abused, many of whom are not in the United States legally, and have trouble accessing health care if they get injured, or they're ineligible for workers' compensation and other things because of their lack of status. So this is a huge problem. I think the President has recognized it, says he wants to deal with it in a comprehensive way, but we've kind of got a full plate right now between the health care bill. I'm trying to do the 6-year transportation bill is due on October 1st. Just got reports today that we're going to see a huge drop-off in construction spending next year. Not something we need. If we can't pass a long-term bill, I'm trying to convince the administration to do that. There's a pretty long queue, but he has said that he has convened some meetings in Washington to begin to work toward a comprehensive reform. The problem got to go a long way, and it has to deal with both trade policy, labor policy, and immigration policy to solve these issues. And I'm not sure, how quickly or how soon we're going to get there. Right now, we're pretty embroiled in this one particular debate, but I recognize the problems. Other questions on that? Q, okay.